Yeah, the banner's still down, people. It's been down since the beginning of time. It's been down since that atrocious atrocity of what we played on last week, and I'm not bringing it back up till they act like they got some sense. But welcome to the North Carolina Live Podcast. I'm your co-host, one of the most, the captain of the Hooligan Express, Tornado McCray, and I feel like my co-host can't hear me the way he's looking at me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, are you? You sure?
Indeed. I'm
Ben,
looking for a thing. You can't find it. And I'm mad about it.
what thing are you looking for?
Don't worry about it.
What do you mean? Don't
You
worry
see it,
about it.
Don't worry about it. You see it, you know.
This guy here, bro, I swear, each week, week in and week out, this man, this individual does his darndest to push my buttons and push my nerves. Why?
Because rigmarole. Razzmatazz.
You suck. This is probably the most lackluster intro we've had in a minute. That's why you can't find whatever you're looking for.
That's exactly why I can't find it.
That's exactly why. But introduce the people, man. Introduce yourself.
But yo, what's good? What's happening? How you living? It's your boy Ricebox26. And we back with another North Carolina Live. And man, I guess this will do.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah. Because boy, do we got something to talk about. But now this is what I was looking for. I was looking for a different one of these, but this is it.
Oh, okay. So you were just giving them a whole different background.
I'll just give it a whole different background.
You know what? Smart idea. I'll do that.
I'm just playing.
No! Jesus. Nah.
So, because man, oh man,
it was tragic.
It is. It did not was. It is, and it continues to be. Because
it was tragic. It was atrocious. It was abysmal. It was everything under the sun. And we spoke about it last week. We did speak about it.
And the bad thing is, it just gets worse. It just gets worse because now, at one point where we thought it was just bad play on the field, apparently, according to some parents, it's bad play all the way around. Because you got parents. Because listen, some players' parents are saying that the environment at UNC is toxic. There's been some issues going on in the locker room. There's been some issues going on with a whole bunch of stuff, apparently.
So who's saying it's toxic? So what's the deal? Like, are we saying it's like high school toxic, middle school toxic, college campus toxic, like your ex-girlfriend that never wants to break up with you, but you keep going back to her because you know it ain't good for you toxic? Like, what are we talking about here? Not that I have any experience.
They had me stuck. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, I caught my co-host off guard. He knows the lore. He knows the lore.
But like, so apparently, according to Pat Welter of WRAL News, and we'll actually bring up WRAL a little bit later again in this. There's been some discontent building around the program. Like, according to multiple sources with knowledge of the inner workings of Belichick's program, says results on the field are a product of a divided locker room, disorganized coaching staff, and a failure to communicate. And we've talked about it before. We've talked about it several times that we even agree, like, the failure to communicate is a big problem. And according to one of the parents of one of the players, it says it's all starting at the top and the boys are being affected. I don't fault the players. I fault the leadership that created this toxic environment. There's an individualistic mindset. The boys are young and they're feeding into it. Another one said it's an unstructured mess. There's no culture, no organization. It's a complete disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And according to some reports, portal players are getting preferential treatment over just general players who weren't, recruited directly by Belichick. Parents have asked questions about the lack of communication from coaching staff, but have no response. They've been also, there's also been criticism and questions about the hiring decisions by Belichick made on the coaching staff, i.e., him hiring his sons and Lombardi's son to the coaching staff. And it's being viewed as nepotism by some of the players. And another one of the sources that spoke to Welter said the lack of experience the coaches have is ridiculous. And overall, I'm gonna say no, I agree, because the most experienced coaches you have is Freddie Kitchens and one of the Belichick boys outside of Bill himself.
I'm about to say it's Steve. I can't even say Bill's most experienced, because if we're talking college football alone, Bill ain't got no
Steve has the most experience between the three of them.
Bill ain't got no experience in this game. What do you mean?
He don't. But we're just talking about like coaching experience in general. Because I think they said what? I think they said in the last game on the coaching staff, there's 10 years of NFL experience as a coach. And it's like, okay, you got Freddie Kitchens.
1.5 college experience.
Because you got Freddie Kitchens with 4? Bill Belichick with the rest of it. Then Steve with the other 6 years.
Maybe.
So it's like, because the other Belichick son, like I said, I don't know exactly where he came from. I know he said, I think I remember seeing that he was at Texas Tech at one point or something like that. I don't really know exactly where he came from. I think he might have been the linebackers coach before.
I know Steve was a linebacker. I remember Steve was a linebacker coach, but he was a linebacker. He was a linebacker coach in New England, then did that 1 year in Washington, like we talked on Saturday. And then now he's here. So I cannot say whether or not he's there. Hold up.
Because his other...
I feel like I'm quiet.
No, I can hear you pretty good. Because Will Friend is pretty experienced. The Trone Means is experienced.
Is this louder or softer?
It's louder.
Whole lot louder. Is it like distorted?
No.
Should I turn it down or is it good?
I think you're good.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure.
So Brian Belichick, I don't know exactly what his level of experience is. I know
it's nepotism. Let's call it for what it is. I'm pushing a narrative. You know what? For entertainment value, I don't care. It's nepotism. That's what it is. That's all it has been. That's all it ever will be. Bill just wants to play with his boys. Pause. Sounds horrible. He just wants to play with his sons. He doesn't care about anybody else. He wants to make sure his sons are always in a position to coach and make money. That's what we're here for. That's why he's doing this. They could have had no experience. They could have been coaching high schoolers.
So Brian Belichick, who's over the defensive backs, he has 3 years as an NFL coach for safety, right? And he took over as the safeties coach in New England, and that was in 2020 through 23.
And it just happened to all go.
He had been. Oh, no, he was also a defensive assistant from 2017 to 2019. But outside of that, before then, he had a 9-year stint with the Patriots, mostly as a scouting assistant. So he began as a scouting assistant in 2016, then became a defensive assistant from 2017 to 2019, and then the defensive backs coach, and then the safeties coach from 2020 to 2024. And now he's the defensive back and safeties coach in North Carolina. And
it does not translate.
Probably does not translate.
Yeah, it's not translated. It ain't no probably. Ain't no probably. It's not translated. Have you seen it? Bro, did you see how
probably should have picked somebody else.
Did you see how torched our safeties looked on Saturday? I know you seen it,
Oh
but
no, I was saying probably as in like you probably should have picked somebody else. But let's see
anyway,
here. Then you got Natrone Means, who's a Tar Heel legend, 20-year coaching veteran, 5th-year member of Carolina coaching staff. So he's got the thing. And honestly, as a running backs coach, we do see with Damon June looking good.
yeah, one of the
running
few
backs aren't
highlights.
particularly the problem. It's the line in front of them that is.
The entire line.
And saying he's been with the staff since 2021.
Just
So
saying.
he's been with North Carolina for a minute. Even coached at Livingston College in 05. Was an offensive coordinator in 06. He's got a resume. And he's got a college resume on top of that. So that's
whole thing.
The Tromeans good, bro. You can stay.
Here's my thing, though.
Now, Matt
and I'm going to say this. I think it is kind of crazy that parents are getting involved because I understand you're a parent. You care about your child. You care about your son, and you want them to experience a good thing or whatever the case may be. However, unless your child is getting abused or mistreated, like unjustly mistreated, to sit there and come out publicly like, oh, they have my son in a toxic work environment, this, that, and the third. That's just something your son's gonna have to work through and be man enough to whether or not he wants to stay or leave. Now, I'm not saying the kids have to endure that by any means, shape, or by any shape or means, you know? Like, if it's a toxic environment, it's a toxic environment. You don't have to endure that. However, I don't think it's a good look on Bill nor the parents to be coming out like this is high school and middle school and just airing it out.
No, I'll say from a parent standpoint, no. I think the parents in this particular situation are right to be saying to have concerns, because if you are being told that there's been preferential treatment because Bill didn't recruit you directly, so that's affecting your development on the team. And what you're seeing on the field is a direct relation to that. And then when you're trying to communicate with the coaching staff on what's going on or what can, even on the basis of maybe what can we do to help you to figure out how to make this a better situation for both my child and the rest of the team, and you get no responses back. Because remember, this is only college. These are still young kids.
Oh no, they are still young kids.
I know they're still. But they're still basic.
Here's the thing: they're still young kids. I agree with you on that, because 18, 19 years old, you're out of your parents' house for the first time, so on and so forth. But that goes back to my thing of, if they are not being like abused or mistreated or being put in situations where their health is at like a critical detriment, I don't foresee how this is great. And I don't think the parents have like as much of a right as you're saying they do, or as much as I'm understanding, to come out. Because the 4-star recruit definitely gets more preferential treatment than the 2-star, definitely gets more preferential treatment than the 1-star, definitely gets more preferential treatment than the walk-on. Because they don't, like, you're just there trying to earn your reps, and you have to insert yourself as a former walk-on. You have to insert yourself where you can. You have to find your spot and just basically just grind your butt off to do. But if the environment is that toxic, if the environment is that like just detrimental to your health, to your mental capacity, to anything like that, you now have an out as an athlete to get in the transfer portal and go somewhere else. It's a whole lot better than where it was. You have an out to get in the transfer portal and leave and go to a better situation, to a coach that's going to actually treat you fairly, as a parent to treat your kid fairly or treat your kid the way you feel your kid should be treated. Because every parent thinks their kid should be given the opportunity, should be treated, and as a parent, you should. Not saying you shouldn't. Definitely not saying you shouldn't. But I'm saying as part of that growth and being an adult and being a man is you trying to figure out, okay, is this just a sucky year and it'll get better with time? Or is this really a bad environment and I need to leave? Because think about it. You and I have had jobs before where we knew the difference between it was just a sucky time period at that job and no, this is a toxic environment that I can't be in anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, here's and like I said, and I get your point. I do. I'm not saying that your point is wrong. I think the elephant in the room that we're avoiding is when you have a locker room that is entirely divided, and no matter what, and clearly whatever you're doing as a leader and a coaching staff is not fixing the problem, then when you're not exactly communicating what it is, what you can do to fix the issue to your team, like to your team at least, is another problem. So then now when you have parents who have children, like who have kids who are invested in this program and want it to be successful, but instead of giving, it's like, and the other real, I guess the real question is, when you advertised we're playing the best people available all spring and all fall, we don't care about what your stars are, we don't care where you came from, we don't care about none of that, then you have a whole roster full of 70 new players. And then you see the performances that you're seeing, it brings to question, what exactly are you doing as a coaching staff and as a coach? Because right now, whatever it is you're doing is wrong. Whatever it is you're doing isn't producing progress. From the looks of it, the last several weeks, you've taken steps back. The only step forward you took was from Charlotte to Richmond. And then when you got back to UCF, you took a step back. And you got Clemson, you took a leap back when you got to Clemson.
Here's the crazy question to pose. And you bring up a good point. You do bring up a good point. But
so I think at the end of the day, it's more like parents are concerned about not just that, but this is also going to affect if their kids want to do something at the next level, but don't want to leave North Carolina. This is going to affect their success. Because we spoke on it before when he started blocking scouts coming to the practices. And we got another thing that I don't know if it's on the docket or not, but the fact that you're blocking North Carolina from showing highlights from previous players just because they play for New England.
Yeah, that
it makes
that's like this makes petty. You wonder. That's just petty. And
stuff like this makes you wonder, okay, what part of it, what of this is a squabble between you and your former employer just to prove that you can still coach? Or what part of this is you actually making the real effort of coaching these kids to make them successful?
And
I think that's what the parent is why they're airing it out. It's like, okay, what are you doing? From all the stuff we saw leading up to now, and then we see this. Like, what's going on, bro?
And I guess I'll ask. I'll ask this question because it's thinking in my head. We advertised we're playing the best 22, right? We're always going to play the best 22 that's available. What if, because I think it is a possibility, the 22 they put out there are objectively the best 22, and they just have a bad roster and didn't know it?
I'm about to say, and then we come back to the same conversation of you just have a roster with a lack of talent on it. and we hate to say it because even Max Johnson denies this roster with a lack of talent.
I'm not saying they have a lack of talent, but I'm also saying if, let's play devil's advocate, Carolina goes into the next game and just says, hey, yo, we going to start these 22. Y'all got 2 drives. If you don't do anything, I'm pulling everybody. We are just going to see what works. Like, we're just gonna figure it out real quick. Everybody gets swapped out. You got 2 drives to prove your point. You will be dropped in the next drive for your backup. And then the backup, you got 2 drives or whatever the case may be. Let's say they do all that. Fine tune, figure it out, get a new squad, get a brand new starting lineup. And that lineup just does as bad. And then they redo it. And it turns out they do this all season trying to figure out a lineup. And it turns out the whole roster is bad. Now the question in playing devil advocate is going to come. Was Bill a bad coach? Was the scouts he had bad? Is Bill or is it just the players they had couldn't execute what he wanted to do? Because at certain point, we always say, yeah, coaches fall for a lot of stuff. But at a certain point, players on the field got to execute too. And if your talent on the field can't match what you're executing, then you just SOL.
So you know what's funny about that? Brent Renner said the same thing during his interview with WRAL, because I told you he was going to come back to them again.
Mm-hmm.
So former quarterback Brent Renner recently went on an interview with WRAL, basically talking about the state of North Carolina football right now.
Yeah.
And he said, even the players they brought in are not performing.
They're not. You're right. They're not.
They are not. And like I said, and Renner said the same thing. At the end of the day, I don't care about that.
What is that? This is quack.
So at the end of the day, he pointed out a few things. One, the lack of communication on the sidelines. You can see so far in every loss that North Carolina's had, if you compare both sidelines to each other, you will have active coaches. Most of the time, it's the head coach actively talking to players in certain situations. Post drive, post mistake, post this. When it comes down to North Carolina's sideline, you just see a whole bunch of guys standing around for 4 quarters, or they're just looking at an iPad, but nobody really sitting next to them. Nobody's talking to them. They're not talking to anybody else. Bill's not talking to nobody. He's just kind of sitting off to the side, staring off on the thing. I get, in Bill's defense, he's never done that. He's not been a guy to go up and talk to you mid-game. He's one of those guys that trusts the rest of the staff to go do exactly what he trusts his staff to do. But you had a lack of communication. Also, Bill sending the wrong messages to his current players regarding the recruits that he has, because he's also boasted about, we got 40 new recruits coming in. Okay, what does that mean for the guys that you're gonna still have come next year? If you're not focused on the guys you have now, then what does that mean for them? All that's telling them is, okay, this new guy's going to come in and replace me anyway. Why do I need to stay here? The other problem is you need to change some of the tone when it comes to the coaching staff. Are you or are you not? Because he said himself, he doesn't feel like there's a need for significant change when it comes to personnel or the coaching staff. So what are you going to do that's going to fix the problems that you have? Because so far, your biggest problems have been play calling inconsistencies, inconsistent play from your players. There's also a lack of effort from your players in most of these games, unfortunately, especially the big losses. Now, I think the only game it looked like they actually fought in was the TCU game.
Man.
Then you have, and I tell you, I'll even give them the UCF game. The defense at least looked like it wanted to fight. They just couldn't, because after a while you get tired after getting beaten down. Then they're also saying that you're also missing leadership from not just the coaches, but you don't have like that big leader. You don't see that one leader guy on the team. Like there's not that, how normally you have like 2 or 3 or 4 guys that'll get up and be like, yo, we got to do this. We got to do this. They start you talking to your guys to get them back in the game. You're not seeing that on the sidelines. So like I said, what is it that you're doing that's not boasting these guys to be in these positions? And then it's like we're in these, where we go into these games expecting them to have improved and only get disappointment every week. We're sitting here upset and disappointed because it's like, what did you do all week? You talk about you were focusing on the team that you're going against, but you look like you played Madden all week and thought this is what they gonna run.
You played college
play college football all week on rookie mode with a playbook that's not 100% the playbook that you're gonna see.
Hey,
sure, it might have
you know what it was like.
like in real life, but
Hey,
real life one.
I got you. You know what they did? They play college football 26 on rookie mode for a week. And then when it came time for the tournament, didn't realize they were going to be playing on all Heisman random playbook. They couldn't pick a playbook, they just did random playbook.
And just like you said, because he goes on to say, just like you said, at some point, sure, the coaching is one thing, but what happens between those lines during the game is down to the players executing what they need to execute. So at the end of the day, the coaches can't play for you. You have to go out there and play and make the plays that you're supposed to make. But when you don't do that, you get embarrassed, like you've been seeing. Like we hate to see it. We hate to talk about it. We would look, because I told you earlier, I had to tell my mom earlier today. Butch Davis first year, they won 4 games, I think, but I saw hope and potential. I don't see any of that so far. Davis had no talent.
He didn't. But that's the thing. He was still able to, like, you still saw the energy with Butch Davis. You still saw the passion with Butch Davis. You still saw that he was going to put forth the effort to try and get this team on the right page. And you saw the players buy into what Butch was telling them. You saw him buy in. Even like, they might have got dog walk, but they were still going to be like, you know what? Hey, bro, we're going to turn this around. We're going to figure this out. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to get there. Right now, in the course of all of these games, we have consistently, and him and I talked about it on the live on Saturday, we've gotten worse after week. Week after week, it's gotten worse. The fact that us getting blown out by TCU 48-10 looks better than us losing to Clemson. What, 42? 38? No, 38. 38. 38-10. The fact that the TCU loss looks better than that? What is that saying, bro? The fact that 34-9 looked better than 38-10? What are we talking about here, dog? And that's why that's why I got the cat. That's why I got the space cat with me, because I'm not putting this up until they get it together. How you doing, dog?
Because once again, you had, like, at some point, because like I said, there's been, I don't know what's been preached, I don't know what's been coached, I don't know what's going on, and I think I think that's where it comes up, where it says there's a lack of culture. Because at least with Butch Davis, you may have been a terrible coach, but they bought into the culture of putting in the effort and trying to get these wins. You don't see that here. Like, every beatdown that we've gotten, the effort has gotten less and less every week. Every week. We'll get 2 or 3 bad drives. There'll be 2 or 3 bad drives on offense. The defense comes out completely done.
Bro.
All gas, no gas under. Oh, no fire lit in them, because they're done. They're tired. Yeah. Then you have an offense that looks like it doesn't know what it's supposed to do from play to play.
Here's the bad part about that offense, right? And I just replay the very first drive in my head. It's like, all right, Clemson, 1 play, 75 yards, touchdown, right? Max Johnson, methodical, nice drive going down the field.
What, like 11 plays?
Like 11 plays, nice methodical drive. Everything's looking good, kosher. I'm like, yeah, you know what? We all right, boys. We're going to be okay. That was the last time I was optimistic about the offense. And that's not even
the fourth quarter. Until the fourth quarter, when we score again. It's like what happens between drive number 1 and drive number what?
12, 11,
13,
like
17, 11, 18.
12.
So it's like, and coming back to the point you were making earlier, when they're saying, if you go and look through the whole thing and the whole team is just bad, it's just a bad team all the way around from top to bottom. the question does come back to the coaches. How was the coaching staff any good? Then it comes back to how is your scouting department any good? Because clearly whatever your scouting department told you about some of these players clearly was wrong. If they were convinced you enough to bring them in. And remember, we talked about that right before the season started?
Mm-hmm.
With some about some of the recruits coming in.
Oh, for sure.
This can make like bad scouting for a scouting analyst can make or break your career. And right now, based off of the 40 new people that were brought into the team through the transfer portal, your scouting department looks like they had no idea what they were talking about, except for 4 people.
So if you would like
4
to know
recruits so far.
If you would like to know the answer,
look like they knew what they were talking about.
If you would like to know the answer to your question earlier, just to reiterate your point, after that first drive where we get the opening field goal, we did not score again for the next 8 drives. Then we score a touchdown. And then we get 2 more drives after that where we do not score.
Do nothing.
So
absolutely nothing.
So I'm like, bro, what is it? What is it you want to do? Because looking like that is the reason why.
And I would play the interview. I would play the clips of the interview, but like the interview's 24 minutes long. So this is what I'm going to do.
Shout out to Anna Yee, because she came out again and she posted after that interview that we showed on Saturday. She was like, we did all this to lose to Clemson, because she went to the game. I told you she went to the game. But shout out to her for being a real one. But I'm going to say this, bro. Playing like that, playing that bad, that's the thing that makes recruits want to leave. That's the thing that makes recruits want to just be like, you know what? Do I really want to come here? Do I really want to come to this school? Is this the place for me?
That's exactly what it makes you wonder. Like, is this where I need to be?
Because Belichick even said like, oh, this is gonna want to make everybody come here. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So for anybody that wants to go and look at the interview, this is the video here. Changes need to be made. You can find it on the WRAL page on YouTube. Saying it's a 25-minute interview, but the man makes plenty of points. They talk about them getting blown out by Clemson, fans leaving the game early, what changes need to be made. They also talk a little bit about Drake May being impressive closer to the end of the interview.
I mean, Drake May went out and beat did he beat Josh Allen? Yeah, he beat Josh Allen and them boys.
He did beat Josh Allen.
And Trevor,
I
just realized that.
Because our nation is worth believing in. Together, we answer America's call.
Oh, what you just realized?
I just realized Drake May and Trevor Lawrence beat Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in the same weekend.
They did. North Carolina, St. Clemson. So
Drake May and Trevor Lawrence beat Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in the same weekend. Wow, I just realized that. North Carolina.
So I am going to play the clip of them asking what changes Bill can make going forward.
Yeah, I know as a former player, it's probably just as tough to watch your team lose like that. And Belichick at 73, it's probably going to be tough for him to change, right? He's not. He's won a lot of games doing things his way, doing things this way, and if it's not working, I don't know that he's in a position to radically alter the way that he does things, because he's got decades of experience that says, hey, this works. And if it's not working right now, well, it's not a problem with me. Maybe it's a problem with who we got here. Like you can start to understand why this might be so difficult to get turned around.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for him as well. And I'm not saying it's easy to coach. I think it's really, really hard to win games. And I think you're seeing that. It's hard in this landscape of football to win games. I mean, I think that's why Saban got out. He was like, oh wow, this is tough to compete, because there's constant turnover. You don't know who's going to be, a good player from the transfer portal. You just have no idea. It's potluck. And you're losing the development part of college sports. I think that's really hard. And I think there has to be some grace and patience. We're 5 games into this. I understand there's no panic level, but the lack of improvement, I think, is just something that I think everyone's concerned with. And even being competitive and just making simple mistakes that are kind of coachable and fixable and teachable. But to go back to Coach Belichick, I think he's given it everything he has. But you're going to hit a stretch now where you got to show improvement and signs that this team's getting better.
All right, we'll switch gears one time and we'll get.
I'm gonna say this.
And you saw about. I heard someone in the notes say they heard during fall camp of the coaching staff was real arrogant and blamed the players for not comprehending what they were teaching. And if that's the case, that really happened, you can't do that. You can't.
Let me get that one. It's
you over here. Sorry.
You're a coach. It is your job to teach the player what you need them to do. That is why you are paid. That is what you are there for. If they are not comprehending what you are asking of them, it is your job to meet the player on their level and help them comprehend, help them understand, help them execute what you want them to do. What are we talking about here? Like, I'm not saying like you, bro. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad if this is true. And the way we saw how they execute on that field, I believe it's true. Because I said on Saturday, the way that secondary played, that is a coaching flaw. Because there is no way that secondary should be flawed like that. Like, you are the coach. You are supposed to teach this player, hey, this is the technique. Hey, if you're shedding the block, make sure inside is here, inside arm is here, outside arm free. If you're teaching the DBs, you teach them how to get out of their back pedal when the receiver breaks that threshold at 5 yards. If you're a receiver, you are teaching them how to break press coverage and get off man. Like, what are we? I think that irks me because I've ran into coaches like that. Who simply think, oh, if I say this, and it'll be fine. Like, you're supposed to automatically comprehend it. It's like, no, how do you want this done versus how I do it? Because me as a player can do this thing one way and the way I've been taught by others. And that's not the way you want it done. Or that's not how you do things. Because, for example, our old situation coach down in Charleston, man's always said, run a slant off one step. I'm like, what? No, I go up 2 steps and then I'm breaking. He's like, why would you do that? Because that's literally getting me depth and making 1 step. I'm running a drag. I'm not running a slant no more. So
see here, somebody says Bill was on vacation when he got the job. He and that arrogant chancellor got one another page for politics and vengeance.
I guess
that's a statement right there.
Listen, bro. I just hate that arrogant aspect.
And to add what you said, as somebody who has a couple of years of coaching under his belt at this point in life, it does not make sense that if you can call yourself a coach and then the first thing you do is blame your players for not understanding what you're trying to teach. If you can't teach it, you know what that means? That means you don't understand it. My simple life goal is this. If whenever I'm training or teaching somebody, I say the same thing every single time. If I can't explain it to you in simple terms, that means I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, guess what? I'm not the right one to teach you.
Facts.
Because if I don't understand it, what's the point of me telling you something that I don't understand? If you are out here blaming your players for concepts that they don't understand, then that means you aren't understanding. You're not teaching it in the correct enough way. You can't understand it enough to teach it to somebody else. You cannot go into the college landscape and think that all of these players are going to have the same mind state as a veteran NFL player, because guess what? They don't. They just got most of them just got out of high school.
There's
a lot of them are going through simplistic playlists that they've been running for 4 years. They probably have a playbook that has the same set of at least 10 plays that every school across the nation plays. And the verbiage itself is probably just as simple as the playbook. So when you get to the college level, not all of them are going to know what a whip route means. A lot of them not going to know what a post 7. Nobody's going to understand what. Not all of them going to understand what a 7 route is. Heck, the first time I heard what a 7 route was when I met you in Charleston.
Bro, here's the bad part. Not only that, it's the verbiage, right? It's the verbiage. Just like you said, not everybody's going to know a whip route. Some people know that as a pigtail. Some people know as a hook versus a curl. Some people know a post and a post and a corner. Like it, the verbiage changes in so many different ways, and even the numbering. I heard when I got to Virginia, I heard they said a 9 route was a corner. Somebody told me a 9 route was a corner. I said, what? They said a 0 is a fly. Like a 0 is a go route. I'm like, huh? All right.
Facts.
Like,
I tell my kids, it's not what you know, it's what you can convey.
It's
Facts.
And that's the thing, because like I said, I haven't gotten as many years of coaching as you. You've been coaching the kids for about, what, 4 years now? 2, 3?
About 4.
About 4, because I got about 2. And I know when it comes to my high schoolers, when I was coaching them, I would break it down for them in simple terms. I'm like, what works for you? What do you understand? What do you know? And I'll help break this down for you in the best way I can.
Exactly.
I will break this down for you the best way I can, the best way I know how, so I can help you understand it. I remember one of my kids, Dante, and it was during basketball season. He said, Coach, I love offense. Kid was fast as all get out. He said, Coach, I love offense, but he wouldn't play defense. I said, Dante, you're one of the fastest players on the team. If you play defense and you get back, you can always play offense.
I don't know if that's me or him. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. I guess that was him. But nah, like this is a frustrating situation because, and you too, thank you for bringing that up, because it's like over the last several years of me being a coach, sure, I've been frustrated. I've definitely been frustrated. I've had some moments where I shouldn't have. But overall, if I can't teach you and you don't look like you improve by the end of the day, there's no reason for me to be your coach. That's it. Point blank, period. If I can't teach you something and you don't understand it by the time I get done telling it to you, and if I have to tell it to you multiple times throughout the year, then so be it, especially if it's your first time being here. Verbiage and operations are completely different when it comes down to different teams. And the fact of, if you have this set of coaches coming in and you got guys coming from different programs with different playbooks and different coaching styles, you have to remember the first thing you have to figure out is, okay, what do you know that's similar to what you did where you were? If I can't figure out, okay, how can I bridge that gap from where you were to where you are now, then what am I talking about? Why am I wasting my time? Or why am I really wasting your time? Because you're here to play for me. They pay me to be here. You came here because you wanted to be here. So it's like, and like I said, and me and Myron have talked about it multiple times over. At some point, and they keep bringing it up all the time. At some point, Bill has to shake up that coaching staff room. It's just gonna have to happen. Because at some point, yeah, I can hear you.
No, I'm saying he has to.
So yeah, he has to, because I can understand that Mike Lombardi was at Oregon and helped develop Dylan Gabriel into a Heisman candidate. I get it, but also you have to remember Matt Lombardi was on a coaching staff that honestly was good at developing players.
Facts.
Because up until this point, all he had ever been is either a assistant to somebody or an analyst somewhere. And with you being an analyst, you should be able to figure out, okay, how is the best way to help these quarterbacks develop? Because so far, as good as Gio was coming out of South Alabama, Gio looks lost.
Oh, for sure.
So as the quarterback's coach, what is Matt Lombardi doing? And if it's not Matt Lombardi, it brings us back to Agent Zero, Freddie Kitchens. What is Freddie Kitchens doing to maximize his players?
Hold up.
Because so far, as we've seen in the last week, sure, Max can get the ball around to whoever we need to get the ball around to. But if you're not playing the right calls or making the right route packages for the situation you need it in, or adjusting your offense for the situation, you're going to keep looking like a terrible offense. And it annoys the heck out of me. Because as a coordinator, your job is to put your best players in the best position to make plays. The sad part is he may need to get rid of his son as defensive coordinator. And that's a possibility. If push comes to shove and that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. Right. Because nepotism nepotism at this point ain't going to help you. Sure, it helped you back in New England, but then again, the coaching staff you had in New England was good. The players you had were good. So they could cover up some of those coaching mistakes that he had. Plus, Steve wasn't even the coordinator up until Super Bowl 3, the third Super Bowl, fourth Super Bowl, maybe?
I don't know, because from what I saw, I don't know if he was ever like a full coordinator. But it's just, my thing is this, bro. That is one of the coaching sins, like one of the coaching cardinal sins you never break. You never blame your player for what you didn't convey to them. You never sit there as a coach. You're like, all right, if you don't understand it, I have to help.
He kept
you. I have to
took a month-long nap. Hollywood movie called Mount Your Random.
Oh Lord. But when you're sitting there looking at these players and you're like, why aren't they executing? Why aren't they executing? As quiet as it's kept, you got to start looking at yourself as a coach, bro. Am I teaching them the right way? Am I doing it the right way? Are they understanding what I'm saying when I say this technique? Because I didn't know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Mike, Sam, and Will as linebacker positions. I didn't know those were the names for them up until I got to college. We just always called it middle, strong, and weak side. Everywhere else I went.
And funny thing is, in high school on my end, we called them Mike, Sam, and Will.
I didn't know until I got to college. And I honestly was just in film. And because we were watching film, I was like, you know what? I asked my coach. I pulled him to the side. I said, Coach, I feel as though I know the term. I feel as though I know this, but I'm asking you, can you just make sure I'm not stupid? My position coach, receiver. I said, is Mike middle, Sam strong, and Will weak? He's like, yeah. Why you ask? I said, because for me, military kid, everything, every school I've been to, they just straight up called it middle, strong, and weak. I never heard Mike, Sam, and Will before. But I didn't want to look stupid because I'm coming back from overseas, coming back to the States playing, right. And I'm playing with guys who
get something wrong.
Yeah. And like I'm playing with guys who've been calling it that for their programs for years on end. But my coach was cool enough and understanding and a coach enough to take his time and meet me where I was at and said, all right, Myron, I got you. Yeah. Mike, Will, Sam. Now they can alternate, they can flip. And he's like, usually this is why we call this the Sam. This is why we always call this the Will, because it doesn't necessarily always, because for me, in the way we did it, it was always predicated to like the side of field. But the way they were saying is that sometimes it can flip based off the formation they're in, like the defensive formation they're in and so forth.
Yeah, because for us, the Sam back was always on the strong side of the line. So wherever the tight end or the stronger side of the line was, that's the side you were going to line up on. Because we had calls like stack Mike, Sam, shoot, which is
right.
You stacked up, linebackers are stacked over the tackles. Sam shoot is Sam on a blitz. Mike, Sam are blitz on the strong side of the line. So we were like that. But then when we got
like I said,
when we got to the semi-pro stuff, where we're getting like, oh, this is what this route is, and this is what this route is. Because on offense, for me, we had hook, post, go, over. We were just called them by what the route actually was. They weren't called 9 routes. They weren't called 7 routes. They weren't called ones. We had hook, return, fly, slant, all that. So we were just calling them by what they were called. So when I heard 7 route, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Hey, you remember? Now you remember the first time we heard Kobe? You remember the first time the Kobe route was said when we were in Charleston?
Right. Like, I don't know.
I was like, what is a Kobe route? And then there was like, it's a comeback. I said, okay, I guess I can get that. That's interesting terminology because I never called it that. I always just called it a comeback. I always called it a comeback. And then not only that, the difference in numbers. Some coaches, it was always the even numbers were inside routes and the odd numbers were outside routes, or vice versa. The odd numbers were the inside routes, the even numbers were the outside routes. So you had to figure out what that coach did and how that coach did it.
Because
I'm like,
I think we were in Charleston. It was on the even numbers were inside routes and the odd numbers were outside.
And it was just like,
so if you had 11 routes, it's just 2 goals. Like 18 was a fly and an in.
Right.
Because his girlfriend would be better at running the offense than what's going on here.
I mean,
we're gonna
listen. I'm gonna say this. If Jordan can run an offense the same way she runs a PR game, I'm just saying.
Run an offense the same way she runs something off in an interview.
That's what I'm saying. Nah, I need her to run a defense like the way she could cut off an interview. Hey, nothing would get through. If she ran a defense the way she could cut off an interview that talks about her and Bill's personal life, hey, bro, we'd have the #1 defense in the league. Say what you talking about. Tell me I'm lying.
I mean, you not wrong. You not wrong. But you know what is wrong?
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying that Bill thinking he's better than the job.
Man,
you can't think he's better than the job, bro.
Listen, bro. When I tell you,
we hired you, we brought you here.
Nah, bro, I gotta read this to you because when I tell you, reading this had me geeked, laughing, and y'all gonna find this hilarious, bro. So, Bill think he bigger than the job, right? And this comes from Dan Wolken of Yahoo Sports because Dan's like, yo, Bill has not figured out the #1 thing in college sports. So I had to read it. I was like, what's Dan talking about? Quote, this is the start. This is the very first sentence. Dan Wolken says, Bill Belichick and the unaccountable band of cronies and flunkies that followed him to North Carolina have failed to grasp one fundamental principle of college sports. When I tell you that first sentence hit like the White Rocks in the 80s.
Cronies and flunkies.
Band of cronies and flunkies, dog. I was like, oh, he coming in hot.
So he thinks he's doing USC a favor being their coach.
So,
which is why
he follows it up. He says, even for the most successful coach in the history of the NFL, the program and the players always come first. That means you don't bring the petty feuds that followed you from the New England Patriots into the building. It means you don't fly off to Nantucket with your girlfriend during the bye week when your team is failing on practically every front. It means that when you gut a roster from the previous regime to bring in your own people, you better actually upgrade the talent instead of throwing darts at the transfer portal like it doesn't matter because you don't believe in competition is worthy of trading X for O with your genius. He's like, Belichick has failed on every account because those around him either don't understand the job or don't take it seriously. And as a result, they have reached the midway point of the season as one of the biggest laughing stocks in the recent history of the sport. Sure, North Carolina fans and boosters were fired up when Belichick arrived last December to begin a unique experiment that had the potential to work if done correctly. But interpreting the excitement as a mandate to replace the Tar Heel brand with Belichick, his various trademarks, and Jordan's film projects is a fundamental misreading of the job he took. And he ends with this, and I love this. Or at least this is the first part because it goes into a slew of other things. He's like, Bill, here's some free advice. At North Carolina, they don't care about you enough to put up with all this. You're not one of them. You are merely hired to do a job. And if you don't want to do it, rest assured, they'll find somebody else who will. Maybe Monday's kerfluffle will be a wake-up call.
I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't know the man took off and went to Nantucket for that bye week.
Bruh, I didn't either. I said,
Like, bro,
what?
And tell you the truth, and like from that standpoint, now knowing that you left for the week to go to Nantucket when you knew there was work to be done, bro, this ain't New England no more. This ain't the NFL.
Bruh.
You don't have a staff that is taking care of all these problems. When you come back, this is college football. Every week is important because
college football every week matters.
You only get 12 weeks. You get 12 weeks, 12 weeks total. The only thing that's gonna provide you extra weeks after that is you performing in the back half of this season. In that first game against Clemson, if that is any indication on how you gonna play in the ACC from this moment moving forward, when I tell you, sir, you might clock out for me, bro. Go ahead and clock out for me. Get we already put all the stuff on the corner. Go ahead.
We've been talking about it.
You girlfriend, all of that out of here. Cause we know.
Hey,
you know it, bro.
You know it's bad when they already mentioning Bill's buyout clause and people are already looking at it like, hey, yo, when that buyout kick in, how much that buyout? How much?
$5 million?
$1 million? It went from 10 million to 1 million.
Shoot, probably.
Hey, yo, somebody. Hey, listen. You know somebody somewhere who has Jordan as a booster is looking at Michael Jordan and being like, hey, dog, please buy Bill out already. Do the school a favor and pick up the tab.
Come on,
like just
we'll pay you back.
Like, promise we'll get you back in residuals. Just buy the man out, please.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And like to add insult to injury, you got like the thought that you had before about where this was going to go to now is devastating. Because there've been questions of should Bill make changes at the coaching staff, even just switching up play calling duties on offense and defense. Do you know what his quote was after the Clemson game? Do you know what his quote was?
Oh, Lord, I don't.
This man goes on to say, the main thing we need to do is keep doing what we're doing and do it better. I don't think that fundamentally we're doing the wrong things. We're just not doing them well enough.
I'm not dealing with it.
Let's let this marinate for a minute. Let's let this marinate in your soul for a minute.
You're what?
Let it percolate.
You're what?
Let it marinate. Let it.
No. You're doing the right things. You're not doing it well enough. Sir, did you see your secondary get torched? Did you see your linebackers not tackle? Did you see your O-line not block?
Have you seen the terrible tackling job you've done since week one? Have you seen the terrible blocking job you've done since week one? Have you seen the terrible pass defense you've had since week one? The only thing that has improved, if anything, has been your running game. And you know what that was? You went to the freshman.
You ain't even trust
nothing to get to the rest of them. You ain't trust the rest of your running back room. You immediately went from the seniors to the freshmen. Immediately. Davion Goss, Benjamin Hall, all stayed for one game in the primary rotation.
I think my face about to be a meme. He said they play like his face looks. I guess my face about to be a meme because what? Listen,
I don't know if they're talking about you or Bill. Either way.
Hey, either way. Like,
then
shout out Max Johnson, but like he did what he could.
Yeah,
QB play was better.
Then goes on to say, then the article goes on to say, you know, they said Jordan Shipp and another player stayed in the stadium a little while afterwards. They even talked to their old receiver coach, who now is a scout for Clemson right now, who's now an analyst for Clemson, stayed back and talked to him in this empty stadium, in this barren wasteland of a stadium. And they asked him how he felt about the desolate look of the stadium. Jordan Shipp goes on to say it doesn't really matter who's in the stands. All that matters is what we've got in the locker room. And I agree.
That's a veteran
really
answer.
doesn't matter.
That's a veteran answer. That's a good PR answer.
Remember, this is among all this growing criticism that the locker room is devoid of sufficient talent, to which Max Johnson said himself he does not agree. He says, no, I wouldn't say that. I believe in our guys. I believe in our team. I came here for a reason, and this is where I want to play. So I'm trusting the coaches, trusting our players. We need to go out there and play better. Bill's face on the sideline, he looks like he's constipated. He does, but he's always
every week.
Like that ain't
every week. That is every
and
week.
Then another thing he said, and then another thing Bill said after the game was, I'll keep my conversations with the team between myself and the team, but I'll just say we're going to work through it and we're going to work our way out of it. We'll get better every week, keep working every week, and prepare for the next team and be ready to go. That's what we're going to do. You haven't done that since week 1. You didn't even do that week 1.
So I'm gonna.
You haven't done that since the blue and white game.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. As the Carolina Panther fan in the room, who has been going through turmoil upon turmoil over the last
about their future
6-7 years, who knows what it looks like to be bad but getting better? I know what that looks like, Bill. You know what's not getting better here? You in this squad. I'm not, and this is me as a guy who he'll tell you I'm generally pretty optimistic. I generally can find a good silver lining, even with Carolina playing bad. And he'll tell you on Sunday Carolina was playing awful, and I'm sitting here just like, well, we still got time. Like he'll tell you that was my silver lining. Like there's still time. This right now,
and they were in the game for all the game until they finally was like, you know what, we're gonna win it, and they won it.
This here is not a team that's getting better. When you are genuinely, when you get blown out the way you did against TCU, when you barely beat Charlotte the way you did, when you get blown out by UCF, when you get blown out by Clemson, if I'm keeping it a buck, if I'm keeping it 1,000. We should be 1-4 right now. We should have lost to Charlotte. That I feel like if we had lost to Charlotte, that would have made you realize how bad this has really been. We should have lost to Charlotte because that would have made Bill realize how bad this has been.
Here's the thing. Speaking on Charlotte, when you have people go in and talk about that Charlotte game, and one of the major opinions they have is 3 drop passes less on Charlotte's end, and that game's totally different. Shouldn't be a conversation you have. It shouldn't be a conversation that's happening.
You and I were both out that night. And I remember when we came back, I remember catching the clips and everything, and I had the notifications on my phone. I looked at my phone, and I'm watching it here and there. Final score, 20-9. Bro, that is 2 scores. You mean to tell me we can only beat Charlotte by 2 scores? Huh?
And it's supposed to be a great squad that they got. And I still believe the talent is there, but there's no coaching, there's no leadership here. There's no leadership driving this thing forward here.
I know we were talking about establishing cultures, and usually it takes, because even with Carolina, it usually takes a while to establish a culture and establish a foundation. But man, one thing you have to do is show that you're actually trying to establish it.
Right.
You have to at least show me like you're trying to put something together.
Like at least show me that you digging up dirt, something.
like you broke ground. You planted a seed. You you did. You show me the concept of a plan at this point. Anything.
Something.
Like Jesus Christ.
Because like you. And you know, like I said, when it comes down to it, when it rains, it pours. Because guess what? The docuseries got scrapped on top of that. Hulu was so tired of your message, you dropped that too.
Hulu said, yeah, nah, we out.
Hulu said we don't associate with losers. Sir, this is a Disney
Bro,
company. We
hey,
constantly keep
hey,
winning.
you know what makes it worse? You know what makes this worse though? We are 1 week into October. Remember, the docuseries was supposed to drop in the fall of this year. So it was supposed to drop either this month or next month.
It was supposed to be following them for the whole season. If they drop the series right now, we got 5 games of them wondering what in the world did we sign a contract for.
Hey, it's gonna be one of the things where it's like Hulu decided to no longer fund this project. All coaches and whatnot declined for all Hulu representatives declined for comment.
Listen, and Selly 44, you know how I told you we was gonna come back to that Jordan thing? Do you not listen? I'm gonna go ahead and preface it with this. I have not talked about this woman in 2 months.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but yeah, you're right.
I have not legitimately talked about this woman in 2 months. But guess what? She coming up now.
Oh hell.
Because they said during the docuseries was scrapped amid the 2 and 3 start. Previous reports. They probably thanking Jordan for messing that up. So previous reports in the Hard Knocks aftermath had cited discomfort with Jordan Hudson's role in the project. Sources at one point had said that Belichick soured with the project due to it only wanting to be for the fall camp, and he wanted something for the whole season, which Hulu had planned to do. Documents obtained by ESPN through public records showed that Hudson would have likely had a sizable role with a talking points note from the school's PR department saying that Jordan is playing an active role in filming and production of a documentary of Belichick's first season. So in that capacity, she may be seen on the sidelines of practices and games. And they're saying, but right now they are saying that the project with Hulu was more than likely scrapped due to the fact that they're having on-field issues. And since Belichick, has offered very little criticism of the team, noting that not needing any significant change in personnel or coaching staff. However, in midst of all that, Mike Lombardi has raised some eyebrows because there was a letter that he wrote to the donors asking for patience with the program during this rebuilding period. To which, once again, the number one receiver and one of our veteran guys flat out said, it pushed back on all the rhetoric, said, I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win football games. That's why I'm here. Whatever they're doing with the donors has nothing to do with me. I'm here to win football games, and that's what I'm 100% focused. My focus is on. And to be honest, based off of his performances over the last 5 weeks, I agree with him. I believe that, yes, you are focused on trying to win football games. However, the rest of your offense is dog water, and I'm sorry. He said they should allow his team to put him on in a dunking booth for every loss. They may start winning games. Every player gets 3 shots at the target.
Man, listen.
He's only going to hit the bucket 4 times. And that's
You
from
think so?
4. And that's from the 4 players that actually give effort every week.
Not the 4 players. You think it'd be that bad?
Dixon, Ship, Johnson, and one of the defensive linemen. It rotates.
You are hilarious.
Actually, my bad. 5. And Damon June.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what should happen.
I'll give Cole in there too.
You know what should happen though. You know what should happen. I can fix it. I can fix this. I can fix that. What'll get Bill right and what'll get North Carolina on track. Jordan needs to cheat and break up with him and cheat on him with Robert Kraft. That will get Bill in his angry era. That will get evil Bill back. That's like the equivalent of going back to the gym and like you just hitting the gym, hitting the weights. That will reignite a fire in Bill Belichick that I had never seen before. Like just leave him high and dry. Have a note. Leave a note at the house that I'm
I
going
mean,
back.
it's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna be one of two things that's gonna happen. Either we're gonna see the greatest coaching effort that man's ever given,
I'm saying,
or he's putting in his resignation and we never see him again.
hey, listen, I feel like that's a win-win at this point.
He puts in his resignation, has a press conference, says, "I admit I don't got it no more," deuces, and just leaves.
Now I ain't gonna lie, we would have to, if he leaves, we definitely got to put him on watch for sure. We definitely got to put him on that type of watch.
I feel like that's Steve and Brian's responsibility at that point.
They don't care. Steve never closes. Steve never closes his mouth anyways to care. Like Steve doesn't. I'm just saying though. You see what I'm saying? It'd be like the forbidden pre-workout. Like that man would get back in. That man would get back in the lab and be like, "Nah, I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna show the world. I'm gonna show everybody. She left me for Bobby Kraft."
Because Steve Belichick got that look of somebody that's like he's got the look of he's what hyped up on Mountain Dew looks like.
I'm like, all hyped up on Mountain Dew.
He's what hyped up.
Nah, not even Mountain Dew. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you a throwback. You ready? He's what hyped up on Vault Energy. Looks like. If you a real one, you know what Vault Energy drinks were. Vault sodas were, man. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Nah, I got one. I got a bigger throwback for you.
Oh God.
That's what you look like after a can of crunk juice.
I'm
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I threw it all the way back there. I brought it all the way.
Bruh, you took that back to the streets. You took that back.
I actually had a friend that like literally found a can of crunk juice.
I don't know.
And brought it to school one day in high school.
Where was your friend? Like, where was your friend residing?
I mean,
that's the scarier part because he found it.
I mean,
he didn't even buy it.
I think he ordered a lot of them online. He even ordered like some Russian one that was technically banned in the States.
Okay, now he's just doing the most.
He was on.
Now he's just doing the most.
Now, like he was at some point I don't know what he was going on through with his life at that point, but energy drinks.
That man was making a lot of bad regrets. That's what he was doing in his life.
Energy drinks was filling that void. That's all I can tell you. But man,
hey, some voids can't be filled.
He's
good now. You make him sound like an addict. He's good now, though.
Bro, when I tell you, there was no time in this span of several months I did not see him without an energy drink in his hand. Whether it be an American brand that we see all the time or some other brand we ain't never heard of.
That man got a brand from Somalia that ain't nobody ever heard of.
Something. He had a can of energy drink all the time. At this point, I can definitely say I think he was. Because the man was constantly complaining, like, listen, my heart ain't slowed down in 48 hours. Man, talk about I can hear sounds. I can hear
and I can taste shapes.
I can taste sound and hear colors. If I fall out,
my heart goes. And that man said, "My heart goes boop goop," but today it went boop boop.
It went goop boop.
Oh my God, bro! Oh no, I never understood that.
That man said his heart was running like a kick drum on a hip from a skillet performance.
Bro, I remember in middle school, I knew dudes that be sitting there drinking a Rockstar. They drink a Rockstar with breakfast. They get a Rockstar for lunch. Then they drink a Rockstar after we done did practice. I'm like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, are you okay?
Listen, bro, he had Rockstar, he had Monster, he had Red Bull. Every brand that was out in 2005, he was on.
From 05 to 2009, that man had them all.
From everything from 05, from 05 to 2009, he was on them. Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but it's like a certain. So it took a certain individual to be drinking Rockstar and energy drinks like that. I'm like, bro, they need Cat Williams to be the only reporter asking him questions in the media. Oh no. Oh no. No. Hey, all I need is Cat is like, he said, hey, he's like, you know what? He's like, let's take all the factors in. But let's get on the line, boy, and let's see if that factors in. I'm like, bro, if you don't sit down somewhere.
You know what? I'll downgrade you from Cat Williams because nobody deserves to be interviewed by Cat Williams. Not saying he's going to be a bad job at it.
Cat Williams was being interviewed. He didn't do the interview.
Like I said, not saying that Cat Williams would do a bad job at it. I'm just saying there's just a level of directness that not everybody needs at this point. And he's on a level that nobody's prepared for. I will replace him.
I swear to God.
With Uncle Ocho.
No.
You said, hey, that zoom in was clean.
No.
That zoom in just now was clean.
No.
Not on purpose, but it was clean. I will replace him with Uncle Ocho. Replace him with Uncle Ocho.
Absolutely not, bro.
Why not?
Nah, because Ocho gonna ask the out of pocket question. Ocho gonna sit there and be like, so Bill, where you snag her at? And she got a friend?
You know what's bad? Ocho's gonna be the one to ask him that. Uncle's gonna ask him that. Ocho's gonna be Ocho's gonna look at him like, listen, so looking at it with your experience right now, why is your team terrible?
Corey Holcomb. Oh wow.
No.
Oh wow. Oh Lord.
Sir and or madam individual, sit down. You are in timeouts.
Oh no. Oh no. You know what? Hey. Yeah, you get that one.
You know what though? It still wouldn't be as bad as if Aries Spears interviewed him.
Oh no, bro.
Aries Spears would be disrespectful. Entirely disrespectful. They would probably end the interview within about 3 minutes.
Nah. Patrice O'Neal would be hilarious.
Yeah, Patrice O'Neal would be hilarious.
Patrice and Paul Mooney would be hilarious.
Oh, don't even get Paul Mooney involved.
Imagine Paul Mooney did that interview. Every time I think of Paul Mooney, like I think of all his great stand-ups and all his great jokes and whatnot. But one of my favorites will always be Ask a Black Dude on the Chappelle Show.
Man,
like that, like them seconds were just hilarious to me, bro.
You know what? I would love to see him interviewed by George Carlin.
Yeah. Imagine Ryan Davis asking him these questions.
That would be hilarious.
Either Ryan Davis or Godfrey.
Oh, Godfrey
would be a good one. Godfrey would be a really good one. That would be the one.
I cannot remember his name right now. Because he's on All Deaf too.
Patrick Cloud?
Not Patrick.
To hear more?
Slink Johnson.
Oh yeah. Slink would be good. Slink would be good.
Slink Johnson be direct. Also the dude that does the one that you see the clips about Anybody Can Get It.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know you're talking about. But man.
I actually came across a video the other day that said, why am I wasting energy being mad at somebody that don't love themselves? He said, before you beef with me, go home, take your shirt off, look in the mirror, and until you happy about. He said, no, take all your clothes off, look at yourself, booty hole naked. And once you're happy about what you see, then come and I'll argue with you. Anybody can get
it. Respectfully, of course.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? That's facts. Why am I beefing with somebody that don't like themselves?
That is wild. That is wild, bro. Like, hey, bro. He's like, man, listen. Now they about to go run off. Now they about to go run off with this. Next time they get into an argument with somebody, they're gonna be like, you know what? What they say on the pod? How about you go home, look at yourself butt booty hole naked, and you tell me if you like what you see. Then come back and argue with me.
Once you say you're happy with what you see, then I'll come back and then I'll argue with you. And I was like, you know what? That's facts, though. That is facts. What do I look like beefing with somebody that don't even love themselves? Hey. I'm out here wasting all this energy for somebody that can't even look themselves in the mirror.
Hey, listen, you wanna know what's bad? Bro? There's somebody that's gonna watch this video and be like, bro, that would have been a great comeback for me in an argument 4 years ago.
That is a mic drop. Facts. Exactly. Somebody gonna look at that. You know what? I should have used that for. I'm not now that I got it for the future.
Hey, that argument they thought about the one argument they meant to use that for that's been sitting in their mind for 4 years. Because they were like, I needed what would have been the perfect comeback? And that just gave it to them. And they're like, oh, if I ever see that person again.
If I ever see him again, now I know when the beef kicks back up, you know what? Hold on.
Oh, we going into it. I'm cool with it. Hold on. I got you. I'm cool with it. Let's get it. Get right into it.
Asking questions, he'll ban all press conferences. Fact. That's every press conference. And have everybody have a comedian interview them. You know how many press conferences we'll never see again because they don't ask the right question.
The exact question.
But no, Tar Heel takeaway of the week. Don't waste energy on somebody that don't love themselves. Don't beef with people that don't love themselves. What you wasting your energy for with somebody that can't even look themselves in the eye? Next time you get in a fight with somebody that you know don't even care about themselves, next time you see them, tell them, you know what? Go home, strip down, booty hole naked, look yourself in the mirror, and once you're happy with yourself, then come back and I'll argue with you. That's what you need to do from now on. Don't let nobody waste your energy when you know they don't even love themselves. Why are you out here uncomfortable with yourself, mad at me? What do I look like wasting my time on you when I'm comfortable? You mad at me because I'm comfortable? Figure it out.
All right, Tario, take away the way. Let's get into it. Ho! Woo! Listen, bro. Ginger ale is actually really, really good. I don't know whoever said this is mid or shouldn't be consumed on a regular basis. Do not sit there and wait to drink ginger ale only when you're sick. I know we have
really good.
I'm telling you right now, ginger ale makes a really good substitute for other drinks. Obviously, it's still bad in terms of like a soda or whatnot. But yo, ginger ale is sweet and awesome. And also, because I just did this and it really sucks. Taste buds suck when they get burnt. I hate eating my food. It's good, it's hot, it's delicious, and it touches my tongue, and it turns out to be too hot to the point where it burns my taste buds, and now I got to deal with this for the next 3 days with this what feels like a dry spot on the middle of my tongue.
Tragic.
And I hate it. It happens when I eat pizza rolls. It happened when I just ate pasta tonight, which was delicious. It happens every so often. And then here's the bad part. It never happens when I eat pizza. Only time it happens when I'm eating pizza, I'm just like that's it. That's all I get when I eat the pizza. It doesn't burn my tongue, and I'm mad because I'm like, that should be a food that burns my taste buds and burns my tongue, but it doesn't. It just burns my lip. So I hate when my taste buds end up like this. So be careful and drink ginger ale.
You know what? We did forget something. So Amari Johnson decommitted again. That's the long and the short of it. That's it. So it didn't even deserve that. It wasn't worth it. Anyway, and I ain't even mad at him, honestly. With all the mess going on right now, I would probably have decommitted too. And the worst part about it is though, the worst part about Omari Johnson decommitting again for the second time. Appreciate you. So the worst part about it is, before we wrap this up, is that opens up the window for it just happen more. And a lot of people are thinking this is going to probably happen more before the end of the season. And I really hope it doesn't, because I would really, really like to reload on some talent before next season.
Oh, listen. If they lose, because who's next on the schedule? Because I know we don't play Syracuse till Halloween.
We got Cal.
Dog. Bad part is I definitely dog walk Cal.
California.
I ain't gonna lie. These next two games look bad. Cal 4-2, Virginia 5-1. Ugh.
Cal doing good.
Yeah.
Cal looks like a team.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we 2-5 after that Virginia game heading into Syracuse, a lot more are gonna decommit. I'm sorry, not sorry.
And even worse, we play them on a Friday.
In Cal, oh my. In California, oh my, yeah, they about this about to look really good or really bad. I swear.
Oh wow, and Louisville plays Miami on Friday too, so nobody's gonna watch our game because it's at 10:30 at night. So
nobody's gonna watch our. Oh, that's what you be hating on. That's the games you be hating the most.
I do be hating
the West Coast 10:30 games.
I will not lie to you. I do hate on them. I hate on them entirely. And I mainly hate on them now. Because, like I said, they're late games and then they're boring. That's the worst part about it. Like, if they were at least exciting to watch, then I wouldn't have as big of a problem with it.
I mean, I understand,
but.
I understand.
And there've been a couple. There've been a handful, but there haven't been as many as there used to be, in my opinion.
I got a question for you, I got a question for you, though. Yeah. As a guy who's done it, would you rather have to stay up with the late game like that, or would you rather have to get up and watch a game at 2 a.m?
I'd rather stay up with the late game.
Exactly. Listen, because there were so many times. Hey, you remember how I used to tell you every time? Be like, listen, dog, just tell me what happens in that 8 o'clock game, because I'm not staying up for that.
I remember it was a click.
It was a struggle. Like I got the 1 o'clock, I got the 4 o'clock. This 8 o'clock, you just gonna have to text me what happened. Or I'll see it in the morning. Click.
That's it. But we'll go ahead wrap this up for the night. I appreciate y'all for coming in and watching us this week. Remember, what did I say?
He said, I don't think that would be the only one. I think you might have clicked this one already.
Oh, no, I didn't click that one. I don't think I would be either. Bill should wear a Halloween mask until he wins another game.
It'd be himself.
I'm about to say, why? Like, he frowns just a little bit more. He'll scare children all month.
Oh!
Because he's already about to scare donors already with his bad performance. But appreciate y'all once again. Remember, join us every Tuesday, 9 p.m. We be here. And what's probably going to happen going forward until they show us some kind of improvement, these backgrounds are going to stay as they is.
Listen, respectfully, they need to step up if they want me to bring it back. Until then, Senor Gato, Space Cat. He's a dandy cat in space.
100. So appreciate y'all once again. Y'all stay safe out in these streets. We'll see y'all next week, or see y'all after the pre-post. We will do post game this week. No, it's bye week.
No, we off this week. Tuesday. Oh, also, Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. That day is next. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. So if you got the day off, enjoy it. I know I do. So that'll be it. Hey, 3-day weekend, y'all. Which means I'm probably gonna be partaking by Friday night. Also, enjoy some Halloween movies, Halloween like cartoon specials. Enjoy it with the kiddos and whatnot. It's spooky season. I watched Coraline, Paranorman, and and Corpse Bride this weekend. It was a lot of fun.
I watched the back of my eyelids.
I saw. All right, y'all. We out.
Man, I've been